titled Say Goodbye to On Fleek, Basic, and Squad in 2016 and learn these 10 words instead, and Brit.co's article, WTF, High School Seniors Taught Us How to Talk Like a Teen in 2016. The most popular teen words of this year are lit, canceled, drag, fam, woke, high-key or low-key, live, savage, snatched, clutch, roast, salty, Gucci, and fire. How many of you use these words all the time or have heard most of these words? Okay. So I'm pretty sure that most of you have also heard of the dances whip and nene, hit the quan, twerking, dabbing, and maybe the shmoney, or you have even tried these dances. So every generation has their own dances and language, in which some of them do end up becoming mainstream eventually, and we should be proud of that, right? Maybe. But the thing is that no one discusses the origins of how they became mainstream in the first place. This is why I'm here to discuss my research. I have found that the most important yet hidden fact about the history of mainstream culture is that it always derives from people of color, especially Black people. That is why I'm here to explain why teen dance phrases and teen slang is not actually teen dance phrases and teen slang, but really just appropriated parts of Black culture. So many of us did raise our hand when I asked if you had heard of any of the words that were mentioned in the articles that I had referred to. But what is teen slang and how did it become referred to as such a thing? So some people may just say you're overreacting, they're just words, it's nothing serious, they have no significant history or reason to be discussed. But that is problematic. Let me explain why. So, go ahead. So actually, for those of you who don't know, AAVE is African American Vernacular English, and that's what teen slang is based off of. African American Vernacular English is also known as Ebonics, which is mostly used in fields outside of linguistics. And so it's referring to a type of English that developed in African American working class. Especially like the urban communities and things like that. And so it's often demonized and looked down upon and considered and referred to as like hood talk, ghetto talk, uneducated English. People call it improper English all the time, when really it's just another type of English, just like British English or Australian English with a complex set of grammatical rules. It derives from ancestors who were slaves, and they were brought here and could not speak the language, and so they were constantly struggling to understand English, and because of this they ended up creating a lot of their own words. And so just like ancestors, Black youth have too created their own words and still proceed to do so to this day. For example, the same words that I just read to you, those are words of African American Vernacular English and just parts of Black culture in general. But now they're called teen slang and teen dance phrases after going through the process of appropriation. Basically, what appropriation is the taking of intellectual property, knowledge, and cultural expressions from someone else's culture and out of its original context. What this process of appropriation can look like is usually Black people invent something, and then other Black people find out and they like it, they adapt to it too, and then it becomes a part of the culture because it's generally accepted. Also, usually Latinx people are engaged in this process as well because in most cases, African Americans and Latinx people are of the same urban communities. Also, Afro-Latinx people do exist as well. Then white people, especially celebrities, end up discovering this invention, whether it's online or maybe like from that one Black friend that most of y'all have, and then you think it's cool, funny, and then you want to join in on it. And then more white people find out about it from their white friends, and once it's approved and welcomed by more white people, or most white people, then it becomes mainstream. However, the thing is, with this process, every time white people always end up misusing and overusing the invention for a long time until Black people will just come up with another invention. So, go ahead. So, and just as I meant, if you need more clarification, now we're going to listen to Crystal Valentine and Aaliyah Jihad. You can press escape.
You brought a wig, a jersey, and overpriced nachos.
At a table, it's not just that you take what we create, it's that it always
add your shea butter. Okay, so the main significance of this is that they were expressing problems with white people not just borrowing our culture, but trying to claim it as something of their own and not even doing it right most of the time. And just as I mentioned before, in the process of appropriation, white people end up discovering certain inventions of people of color, and they want to join in and share it with other people. But actually, this has a name. It's called Columbusing. And so, basically, additionally, you should have also noticed that my title screen said white people stay colonizing. It's in standard American English, this basically just translates to white people are always colonizing, in case you didn't know. And so why does this connect to cultural appropriation? Well, cultural appropriation and Columbusing, they share a general theme with colonization. Both are smaller forms of colonization in the sense that they revolve around establishing a position in which you have power to invade a space or culture that you have no cultural ties to, and you begin to claim it as your own. So basically, they share the same power dynamics. And so now, I want you all to imagine that you are working on a project. You spent days and long nights working on this, but then comes to find out you actually received an F on it. Now, imagine how you would feel. You would feel negative, upset, and really discouraged. You might even, you would just feel negative. And so then you find out that someone actually copied you and turned in a project identical to yours, but they received an A. So how would you feel then? You would feel as if you were treated unfairly. You would want justice, right? Because it's not fair for you to put all of that work into this and get shut down right away, and then someone else does the same exact thing, but they are congratulated, approved, and embraced with open arms. That's double standards. And so that feeling that I just mentioned, the feeling like you were treated unfair, hold on to that. Ever since black people were forced here, our culture was beaten, whipped, and raped out of us. And so we had to start from scratch, developing our own customs, traditions, and culture. And so that same project that you just imagined creating is just a small example of something much larger, something that is black culture. From the oldest African slaves to stubborn black grandmas and hood femmes and LGBTQ+ folks to cousin Pookie and her nephew Man who live down the street. These are all creators who have contributed to our culture, which is a project that has continuously been worked on ever since we were brought to this land. Along with our culture, anti-black racism has also existed in our society, and this is why black culture has constantly been demonized, looked down upon, and made fun of. And so that negative perception is similar to that F that you just got on your project. And just as your project was perceived positively and awarded with an A once someone else did it, that is also the case with black culture. Black culture is perceived as more acceptable once white people take it. And that is why cultural appropriation is so harmful. And so teen slang and teen dance crazes, when you refer to it as that, it's really just whitewashing and erasing its roots. It's black culture, it's black dances in African American vernacular English. This is important to recognize because black people rarely already get credit for the things that they contribute to society and our culture. And so, what you should remember is that teen slang and teen dance crazes is just appropriated black culture. They just have to be approved by white people who have the most power in society before it becomes mainstream and socially acceptable. So whenever you hear about a new popular term or dance referred to as teen slang or teen dance crazes, remember this presentation. Remember that it's probably not even brand new. White people just found out about it like a few seconds ago. And so also, even though I know that I just explained what appropriation is like and why it's harmful, I know that some of you who are non-black will still not stop claiming black culture as yours. I understand that. And so I would like to leave you with this one question that has been popularized by Amanda Senberg. What if America loved black people as much as black culture? Thank you.
Yeah.